Hi guys, today I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a new episode on Hanson Sean. It's a book review of Homo Deus by YUVAL Harari. Well, this is also known as A Brief History of Tomorrow. Unlike Sapiens, which is a brief history of humankind, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, is basically about what is stored for us inside our lives, what is going to go ahead and be a result of our lives as well too. And the thing is, there's not that much actually different from what we think of the movies too. In the movies, we see people with like biotechnology inside of them, nanochips or whatever inside of them too. That's probably going to be the new future as well, but it may be coming a bit more faster than you think too. War is obsolete actually. You are more likely to commit suicide than be killed in battle. Famine is actually disappearing. You're more likely to actually die of obesity than you are of starvation. And death is just a technical problem too. Well, equality is out definitely, but immorality, that's actually right inside of here too. That's the greatest thing that could actually happen to us too. So what's our future hold? Homo Deus itself is here to go ahead and try to explain to us how we do things too. Oh, and the cover, unlike Homo sapiens, it uses the actual thumbprint of a Homo sapiens. Why is it focusing? There we go, close enough. The thumbprint itself is using a little bit of an electronic thumbprint. I tried to make my own version myself. It's not that bad if you ask me. But hey, time to go ahead and go next level. So what does Homo Deus even mean itself? The title Homo Deus is a little wordplay on Homo sapiens. There is, as far as I've heard, no official term called Homo Deus. But lots of people still need things too. Homo Deus have a better advantage. Think of them as computers, but humans. We humans need water. We need food like pizza. And if we didn't do that, well, we would definitely die. But what is Homo Deus anyway? Homo Deus is what's going ahead and leading towards the future. Now, this book was written in 2015, and not much has changed to the book itself. They won't do additions to it anymore ever since then. But it is still somehow relevant to our everyday lives too. But before we can even understand what a Homo Deus is, we have to go ahead and understand what a Homo sapien is first. Now, Homo sapiens themselves are the most interesting kinds of groups. So evolution has blessed us with a brain. It is not the biggest brain in the world. Whales take that for credit. But the problem with whales is that 90% of the brain is actually gone ahead to move their bodies. For elephants, it's the same thing too, but significantly less. So they still can think and communicate with others as well too, and remember. But the humans, we only get like a very small part of the brain that's go ahead and making us do this. The rest is going ahead for either bodily functions as well as letting us think, and maybe somewhere in our brain that we still don't know where yet, we are still storing information and memories and feelings, etc., etc., etc. Homo sapiens are a special kind of group of species themselves, as they have evolved unlike a monkey, unlike our 99% DNA relationship of monkeys. The thing is that our brains go ahead and have more, at least we are able to go ahead and make intelligible words as well too. Like even if an English person listening to a Chinese person talking Chinese, he will at least know that it's not unintelligible words. He's still saying something. It's just that you don't understand language. Now, of course, some of us actually went ahead and saw animals probably have that kind of language too. But then again, all we hear in cats are like meowing and purring, and other than those emotional things, that's it. Lots of other things go ahead in here too, and there's probably more communication between animals than we know ourselves. I mean, how else would animals have been able to hunt together? Lions have been able to hunt together and do things, incredible things. We humans are special because we have the ability to tell stories. We have the ability to store information, do other things as well too. We've been able to wage wars against each other. Also, ants can do that as well. We Homo sapiens have been able to go ahead and create mastery swords. We don't unfortunately have these mandibles that are really sharp and cut off an ant's head or something. But then again, we don't have any other competing species. If in the olden days all we had to worry about was, can I survive till tomorrow? Can I survive today? Can I survive tomorrow? What about the day afterwards? it wasn't until the invention of agriculture that we were able to go ahead and start worrying about being eaten by wild animals. Ever since agriculture, our numbers have actually went ahead and boomed up, mainly because, well, agriculture let us stay in one place, and we can just protect that one place too. We don't need to move around as much as we used to. The downside is that the Homo sapiens themselves have been divided into different subclasses too. Think of the entire human population of the entire world as one computer. This is what happened. The processes of the computer happened, like they increased exponentially, but they were always used for different applications. Like several clusters were used to, like, say, open a Google Chrome tab, but while the others have been used to manage Bluetooth or something like that. The Google Chrome tab processors are different from the Bluetooth processors. This isn't actually how a computer actually works. I just want you to imagine that way. If we actually had a computer that was like that, we would already have wasted all of our energy available. Well, that's what happened to the Homo sapiens. The Chinese humans thought things differently than the European humans, and they had no idea that the European humans themselves existed. Because, well, they were living in different places, and until the Silk Road was invented, which wouldn't happen for another like, 50,000 years, 40,000 years, take or so, maybe just a few thousand years themselves, depending on which time period you're looking. Until that happened, they would basically not be able to go ahead and carry out information across long distances. And then writing happened. Writing itself improved our storing. We needed less information inside our brains because all we had to do was reading it. But then downside is that we don't have bigger brains than our ancestors that we do. In fact, our brains right now are actually probably a bit smaller than our ancestors. The thing about us is that while we're a bit smarter than our other animals, our ancestors, is because that we need to memorize less. We don't need to know, we don't actually need to know to go ahead and remember how to do certain things. We can always go ahead and search that up, but if we don't need it, we only memorize it. Well, we need to do it over and over and over and over again, and, well, it's memorizable. Unlike all the digits of pi, well, you can technically memorize all the digits of pi, but then I'm not sure if you'd want to memorize all the digits of pi. It's not like it's going to be useful for anything. All you need is 3.1, 4, and 1, maybe 4 to the 4 digits. I memorized it to 3.1 for 1. All this, of course, went ahead and led us to today's Homo sapiens too. Now, Homo sapiens right now have been considered as processors, data processors, whatever you want to call them. But if they are processors, like the processor in a computer, they must do a task, and they must go ahead and give out the task themselves too. So what are they doing? What is the output of Homo sapiens? Well, some people say that the Homo sapiens output is a better data processing system. In our early days, during our primitive years, emotional feelings processing was actually the most important thing that would ever happen here too. But then later, we kind of created too much data for our little primitive monkey brains to go ahead and understand enough, and so we were forced to go ahead and make an exterior. Why do you think books and computers exist? Nowadays, we don't even need books. We can just turn them into digital recreations and use it for firewood or something. In the near future, books would be pretty expensive as well too. Not only the fact that maybe truly scarce, but also the fact that they're rare, and first editions like this one will be expensive in like 1,000 years later. If somehow they survive for 1,000 years, that's a pretty durable material if you put them in a good condition or not. The thing is, lots of people actually go ahead and think that data processing systems will go ahead and somehow merge with Homo sapiens. Eventually, when Homo sapiens somehow develop this better data processing system, which would, in our near future, looking at the data we have currently from now, seems to be AI, or General Artificial Intelligence, or GAI, we will probably end up merging with them too, if the AI hasn't massacred us already. Well, I mean, imagine this. When we look at the school world, we go ahead and put it down, laugh at it, saying how primitive it is, that the world never understand our way of thinking, our complex way of thinking. Like, how we prepare food, it will never understand that fire is something useful as well as something dangerous. It will never understand our kind of way of thinking. The AI might actually go ahead and make us think of that too, like saying our brains, our way of thinking, it's too complex for you to go ahead and understand for us too, and so we've tried to purge them. at least the AI does, tries to purge its competitors. We've purged our competitors as well. In fact, we've somehow also hunted monkeys before, but then again, people realize that monkeys are our cousins, and well, ethics happened. Somehow humans have been able to evolve ethics. Humans have been able to survive because of other things. So groups of humans thought they were better than other groups of humans, so they went to war to go ahead and destroy the other groups of humans too, because they just could, and if they didn't, well, shame on them. Humans themselves also like rhetoric too. But here's the thing: after this, if we somehow merge, if not destroy that, because this greater data processing system, we would get something from Dune, like something from the Dune books too. Dune would be pretty accurate, except maybe without the spice. We will become Homo Deus, the Homo gods. Maybe we will become digital versions of something like Cyberpunk 2077, something in the video game Cyberpunk 2077. Or you could go ahead and get something incredibly different as well too. Yuval Noah Harari himself actually went ahead and did things a bit weirdly too. His brief history of tomorrow goes ahead and shows us things too. All this can actually happen in the next century. AI could actually become general AI in the next within the century, within the 21st century. By the 22nd century, we'll get so many advances. If you guys ever watch like The Matrix, then you'll probably pretty much know how all that happens too. And if you ever watched the prequel to The Matrix, that the Animatrix, I have, and my parents kind of regret showing me it. You know that the AI would try to cooperate with humans, but humans don't really like being number two. We like being number one. Why else do you think we have the gold and the Olympics and the other things as well too? So much more has actually happened there since then. The Homo Deus itself would probably become the most dominant field in the entire world. And I'm just scratching the surface here. This book goes ahead and goes into higher detail and all those data and things as well too. But once you actually get to know it, once you actually get to know the Homo sapiens, the Homo gods, the Homo Deus, we may have a better understanding of the future and maybe even be able to help shape it so that it doesn't go as the dystopian way as well too. And maybe make it a bit more realistic. And that's Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. This is a review of the book. And I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, Shannon out. Peace. Bye bye. And please don't have dark thoughts. That's never good. Dun-dun.